known as Rose Said It. Yes, I had a channel name change for those of you guys who are new here or old here. My channel name was Be More Curly, but I just changed it for the new year. We are getting into some new topics this year, and as well as continuing on with some old topics as well. So one of the new topics that we are getting into this year is pregnancy. And the reason why I want to discuss pregnancy is because I am currently 19 weeks pregnant. It is Friday. I will be 20 weeks pregnant next Wednesday. So every Wednesday I turn a new week. So this video is basically going to be about pregnancy, the untold truths, things that they didn't tell you that they probably should have. And yeah, so if you're interested, then stay tuned and I'll go ahead and get right into this video. My pregnancy so far has been a journey. And it's been really, really, really rough, and I have not been comfortable talking about it. I actually made a video before that I referenced in another vlog. I made a pregnancy update video when I was 8 weeks, and I spoke about the first few weeks of my pregnancy, and I planned on making continuous videos about my entire pregnancy journey. And I couldn't because I was going through a lot during my pregnancy up until now, health-wise, and it's been really, really rough, but I'm in a better place now and I'm able to discuss it more. Some things still kind of bother me to talk about because some things do make me a little emotional when it comes to my pregnancy. Like I have strong feelings towards certain things in regards to pregnancy now that I am experiencing it. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and get into some of those things. And the first thing, basically these things, I'm not in the medical field if you guys don't know. I am just speaking in regards to my personal experiences so far. And yeah, basically my personal experience is the thing that I think that they should have told people before they got pregnant. Like you hear so many things like when you're growing up, like, oh, pregnancy is beautiful, oh, you're gonna get a glow, and oh, and this and oh that, and it's like it's a lot more stuff they should have told you that they did. They didn't tell me. Okay, so first thing is that you can bleed during your pregnancy. So, you know, usually they say that when you get pregnant, your period stops or you don't have a period. The first 12 weeks of my pregnancy, I had to make sure I had pads with me because I was bleeding off and on for days, heavy, and I had to go to the emergency room before because I thought I was having a miscarriage. I was diagnosed with a threatened miscarriage, and when I was at the emergency room, and I had to get my HCG levels checked probably for, I think the first 3 or 4 weeks, I had to get my HCG levels checked. So I had to get my blood drawn every 2 days for like the first 4 or 5, like 3 or 4 weeks. So basically like weeks 4 through, yeah, because I found out when I was 3 weeks and 6 days. So basically from 4 weeks until week 7 or 8 or 7.5, I was getting my blood drawn every 2 days, and it is tiresome, but they had to keep, you know, checking my HCG levels because I was bleeding so much, and also because I've had a previous miscarriage. So the bleeding that I had was actually caused by something that is called a subchorionic hematoma, which is basically a blood clot that can form between the gestational sac and the uterus. And so the way that it was explained to me was basically that when the egg implanted, it implanted so hard that it left a bruise. And as we all know, or if you don't know, a bruise is basically just a blood clot. So it formed a blood clot. The blood clot was pretty big, and since then, they've just been waiting. It's nothing that they could do about it. They just had to wait, and it can cause subchorionic hematomas, can possibly cause miscarriages. They don't always, and oftentimes they're not always something that you should have to worry about too much. But they can form later on in pregnancy. They can happen at the beginning of pregnancy. They can happen at different times in pregnancy due to different reasons. But they just told me that was just the reason why mine most likely formed. So as of the last time, I'm 19 weeks now. I have a sonogram next week. My last sonogram was at 16 weeks. And when I had that sonogram, my subchorionic hematoma was still there. So it has been here my entire pregnancy so far. And it has definitely caused worries. So yeah. Another thing that they don't tell you about pregnancy, people usually, or doctors, healthcare providers, whoever, I've looked on different YouTube videos. This is something that I've always heard, is that your HCG levels are supposed to rise like every 2 days. They're supposed to double. Basically, that's what they say. And that is not 100% true. They are supposed to rise significantly, and you are expecting a steady rise in them, but your HCG levels can drop while you're pregnant and you may not experience a miscarriage. So I have experience with that because it happened to me. So this is another reason why I was so anxious during the beginning of my pregnancy, because I thought I was going to have a miscarriage because of the excessive bleeding that I had, and then the drop in the HCG levels. So the drop in the HCG levels, they said, could have been caused due to all of the bleeding that was going on, and also because I had fibroids. They found out that I had fibroids. I got my first ultrasound when I was 6 weeks pregnant. Because I had the previous miscarriage, they were giving me ultrasounds at week 6. I had 3 ultrasounds. I had one week 6, like 6 weeks exactly. 6 weeks and 1 day, I was rushed to the emergency room and had another ultrasound because that's when I first started bleeding. And then week 7, week 7, I had another ultrasound. Then week 8, I had another ultrasound. Week 9, I did not. Week 10, I had another ultrasound. Then at week 12, I had an ultrasound. And then I didn't have any more ultrasounds until week 16. So from 10, then 12, then 16, and now here I am 19, and my next ultrasound is going to be at 20 weeks. But I have had doctor's appointments every 2 weeks, sometimes once a week. In the very beginning of my pregnancy, I was having the appointments like once a week, but ultrasounds every 2 weeks, and now they've pushed the ultrasound out to every 4 weeks. And when I go in now on the second week, it's usually just like they're checking for the baby's heartbeat and checking to make sure everything else with me is okay, since I've been experiencing a lot of other different stuff. So yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, it is a lot that I did not expect when it came to pregnancy. Okay, so I mentioned fibroids. So fibroid growth, I never even knew what fibroids were until I got pregnant. And apparently they grow with hormones, and because of the hormones, because your body starts producing more hormones when you're pregnant, like the HCG and the progesterone, it starts rising so that the baby can, stay healthy and keep growing and everything, and that the pregnancy can continue. But the fibroids are using that to grow as well. So the fibroids are using the hormones and then also blood that the baby should be getting. So, my fibroids that I had 4 fibroids, and 2 of them started growing excessively in the beginning. The 2 largest fibroids started out at 3 and 4 centimeters, and I'm 19 weeks pregnant, and they are currently 7 centimeters and 10 centimeters. The 10 centimeter fibroid is down at right at the top of my cervix, and the baby's head gets to be 10 centimeters. So it's an issue. Yeah, so it's pretty much like having multiple, it's kind of like carrying twins, because I have a 10 centimeter fibroid, which is the size of a baby's head, plus a 7 centimeter fibroid, which is kind of like a small body. So it's kind of like that, like those 2 fibroids in itself is kind of like a baby. And then I have my baby growing, everything is good with her. It's a girl. For those who haven't seen my other vlog, my baby is a beautiful, healthy, as of right now, she's healthy, and we're going to pray to God that she stays that way. A beautiful, healthy baby girl, and her name is Rose. And yeah, so the fibroids have been causing issues, and I don't know if the fibroids will bleed eventually and die off. Hopefully they do. But yes, that's something else that I never knew about prior to pregnancy, is that if you have fibroids, when your baby is growing and as your baby gets bigger and bigger, the fibroids can die off, and it can cause excessive amounts of pain and bleeding. So that's something that my doctor warned me about, and that is another reason why my doctor has been monitoring me so much, like on a weekly to bi-weekly basis, because of how big the fibroids were and how big they are now. It's a kind of a cause for concern. I had a lot more anxiety about it in the beginning, but I just continue to pray every day about it, and keep pushing. As long as my baby's healthy, that's all that matters, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. So another thing in regards to the fibroids is that you can experience rapid belly growth due to fibroids. So that is something I have experienced. As I said, I am 19 weeks pregnant. I started showing when I was 10 weeks pregnant. And that is very early by some standards. I mean, everybody's body is different. Everybody carries their pregnancy different. No two pregnancies are exactly the same. No two pregnancies are alike. Like a woman can have 3 pregnancies her whole life, and all 3 of them be completely different, bellies different sizes, and looking different ways, or sitting high or sitting low or whatever. So yeah, I have been showing since I was 10 weeks pregnant. When I was 10 weeks pregnant, I looked like I was about 15 weeks pregnant. I'm currently 19 weeks pregnant, and I think I look about 25, 26-ish weeks. I know some other females who are pregnant, and I'm bigger than some of them, and they are much further along than I am. So it causes me to be self-conscious, and yeah, it does cause me to be self-conscious. I love the fact that I'm, carrying life, and I have a beautiful baby girl on the way. But what and also people can't really mistake it and think that, oh, she just ate too much. Like, no one's going to think that when they look at my stomach. They're going to know that I'm pregnant. But what I don't like is something that has been triggering for me since I've been pregnant is comments about my body, which has never really bothered me before, but I don't think that I ever really got many comments about my body before. I mean, sometimes my certain family members may say like, oh, you got thicker or something like that. Like, because I moved to Texas, and when I would come home, they may see me like twice a year. They'd be like, oh girl, you put on a couple pounds, or oh, you look like you lost some weight or whatever. And now, like, when I get comments from different people in regards to my size, it really bothers me. So something I want to say is that it is not okay to tell a pregnant woman I don't think it's okay, and I know it's bothersome to me to tell a pregnant woman the size that you think that her child is going to be, or that you think this is actually the statement that you're going to have a big baby. I think that is very rude, and because you don't know how big the baby is going to be, and you're making a determination based off of the size of the woman, the belly size of the woman. And there's a medical reason behind the size of my belly, which is the fibroids that are growing rapidly along with my child. So it's like I said before, it's kind of like carrying twins. Even though I only have 1 baby in there, I still have 2 huge fibroids the size of a baby. So yes, to make statements like, oh, you're going to have a big baby, or oh, that baby's going to be at least 8 pounds, or blah blah blah, like, to me, it's not. I don't like those type of comments. And sorry, I'm out of breath. That's a pregnancy symptom. Whew, I get out of breath just talking, and I'm sitting down. Yeah, so I've heard those type of comments from multiple people, and it bothers me every time. And I don't think that it's coming from a bad place, but it is bothersome, especially when I am already self-conscious about my body. And speaking of being self-conscious about my body, another thing I do not like is just people touching me without my permission, like touching my belly without my permission. So I always saw it growing up that when people were pregnant, people would, like touch their stomach and stuff to feel the baby or whatever. I don't know what they think they're doing, because you're not feeling the baby. Like, to me, I don't know, I think it's the weirdest thing when someone just touches your stomach. Well, first of all, without permission. If you ask, then and if I say yes, and if I'm comfortable with you doing it, like I've already given you permission to do it, and you're not like catching me off guard, then it's totally fine. But for anyone to just walk up to you and just touch your stomach, I think that is it's like an invasion of privacy. Like, at the end of the day, it's my body. It is not anyone else's. Like, my body isn't on display. Like, I'm not a petting zoo. Like, my body isn't on display for people to just touch whenever they want to. Like, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. And I've had to say it before, like, a few times, and I really, really like when other women like step up, and other women actually know, and they actually ask you first, like, hey, like, oh, can I touch your stomach? Like, if you ask me, then, like, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but maybe like 7, 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna say yes, because you asked for permission, and you haven't just invaded my space and invaded my boundaries, because you don't know how I'm feeling that day, especially with all the stuff that has been going on with me. So I don't like people touching my stomach, because 1, because of the fibroids, 2, because you don't know where my baby. I know where my baby is at. My husband knows where my baby is at. But a random person touching my stomach is not gonna know where my baby is at. Like, my baby is not. I'm not like 30 weeks pregnant where you touch my stomach anywhere and you're possibly going to feel my child. My child is still small. Like, my child is probably, at 19 weeks pregnant, the baby is the size of a zucchini. I think it's zucchini, because last week it was like the size of a Pop-Tart. So my baby's like about this big right now. And so if you just touch in a random spot or on the side, like on the side where my baby is not, you're not touching my child. You're just touching me. And it's like, you what are you touching me for? Like, what are you touching me for? So, yeah, that's something that really bothers me. So, I think that it's best for people to ask pregnant women first prior to touching them. Ask them first, like, hey, is it okay? Like, can I touch your stomach? Like, and it doesn't matter what your relation is to them or the baby. Like, it is their body. It is my body. And if you or if anyone wants to touch my stomach or wants to touch my body, you're touching my stomach. If anyone wants to touch my stomach, they need to ask for my permission. You don't ask permission from my child, because my child isn't here yet and my child cannot speak on my behalf. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. Another thing that people don't really tell you about is that you will have, that you can get stretch marks in weird places. So I actually I've been using like the belly butters. I've been using, what is it called? Like the oil, the body oils and everything. I got the Mama Bee belly butter, the Mama Bee body oil. And yes, I've been using it since I was like 10 weeks because I started showing so early. And for some reason, I don't have stretch marks on my stomach. I have stretch marks on my neck and my shoulders. And it is the weirdest thing. Like right here and right here, there are stretch marks. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Like, how in the world did I get stretched? I've never had discoloration on my skin like that before, unless it was like a scar or something. But to have random stretch marks, like just right here, that's another reason why I'm kind of just covered up. And again, why I said like I've just been self-conscious with my body, because there's a lot of changes that happen to your body during pregnancy. And I knew that, but I didn't know to what extent. I literally just thought it was, oh, your stomach grows and your pelvis opens up so that the baby can come out. And that's about it. Did not realize, I knew stretch marks would come, but I didn't think they would come in random places. So yeah, I have stretch marks right here and it makes me really, really, really uncomfortable. Okay, so the last thing I want to discuss, excuse me, sorry, I get hiccups randomly because, I get hiccups randomly now because of the baby. It happens like every day. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is anxiety and fear surrounding the gender of your baby. So this is something that I spoke with one of my best friends about. She's actually a doula, and she's actually our doula as well for my pregnancy. If I can have a natural birth, I will be doing hypnobirthing. If I can have a vaginal birth, then I will be doing hypnobirthing and having my baby naturally, unmedicated. If I have to use any type of medication at all, I told her, I only want to take Tylenol. I don't want nothing else. Like, and if Tylenol don't work, then that means I ain't supposed to have that either. So, but yeah, so she's a doula, and I spoke with her about it. And it's about basically having anxiety and fear regarding the gender of your child prior to knowing. So before, sorry, out of breath again. Before finding out that we were having a baby girl, I had a lot of anxiety in regards to the thought of having a boy. And there was one day where I was actually crying about it. And that is because obviously I'm Black, my husband is Black, and just the thought of raising a Black son in this climate, like in regards with, like things that are going on in society, with Black men being targeted and different things that are going on with race and injustice and just a lot of different stuff that I don't necessarily want to speak on right now. But there are a lot of different fears that I had in regards to having raising a Black son. I still don't think that I would be prepared to raise a son right now. I know that I'm fully prepared to raise a girl. And I know that I'm 100% capable of being a great mother either way. But I think that right now, with the experiences that I've had in my life, I think that I am more ready to be a mom to a girl and to teach the experiences, not teach experiences, but share the experiences that I've had growing up with her, rather than try to navigate through a whole new, I don't know how to raise a boy. I don't know how to raise a boy. I have a sister. It's just me and my sister, growing up in the house. I don't have any brothers. I have some male cousins. I have a lot of female cousins. But again, I wasn't raised in a house with a boy. So I don't know. I've never seen a boy being raised. And I don't know how to do it. So I was really scared about that. And then also, there was also some, I knew that we would have to choose a name for, if we were having a boy, we would have to choose a name. And I think once we decided on a name for a boy, that's when I started kind of coming around to the idea, like, okay, if it's a boy, then, and this is going to be his name, then okay, like, it's going to be fine. Like, I fell in love with the boy name that we chose. If we were going to have a boy, his name would be True. And so I'm sure whenever we have a child in the future, in a few years, that if that child happens to be a boy, his name will most likely be True, because I'm in love with that name. So yeah, so when I spoke to my best friend about it, she was telling me that she also had anxiety during her pregnancy, in regards to having a boy, and it's okay to want what you want. It's nothing wrong with wanting to have a certain gender and being disappointment. It's called gender disappointment. It's nothing wrong with being disappointed if you have the baby of a different gender, because you never know what that person has gone through, their life experiences or whatever, which makes them want one gender more than the other at a certain time in their life. Not to mean that you wouldn't love the baby, not to say that you would love the baby any less if it was the gender that you did not want. You're going to love your child regardless. Like, I know I would take care of my child regardless, like, whatever gender it is. I just prefer to have a girl. And out of breath again. So when I've spoken to different people about it, and the main thing that people would just say is, oh, as long as it's a healthy baby, as long as it's a healthy baby. I'm like, yes, like, no matter what, I just want my child to be healthy, whether it's a boy or a girl, but I just prefer a healthy baby girl. Yeah, I just prefer the girl. At this time in my life, I do want a son. I don't want to make it seem like I don't want a son. I 150% want to have a son one day. But I cannot see myself raising a boy in the next year or 2 years or whatever. Like, I don't see myself as a boy mom right now. And that was mainly the thing. So I kind of just had fears, like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to raise a boy? Like, what am I going to teach him? Like, I don't know what to do with him. Like, how do you, like, boys are crazy. Some boys are crazy, like, and they're wild and they just have so much, like, energy. And I'm just like, what am I going to do with a boy? But at the same time, I know that the love that boys have for their moms is just crazy, unconditional, and it's something that a mom may not always get from her daughters, because girls are usually daddy's girls when they're young, and like, I was a super daddy's girl when I was young, so I know my daughter, she's probably going to be a daddy's girl, and I wanted her so bad, and when she comes out, she's probably just going to be all over her dad, and I'm just going to be left out. But but yeah, I mean, in the future, when it's time to have another child, if it's a boy, I totally won't mind. I just wanted a girl first, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so yeah, I just wanted to say that in case anyone else feels the same, or if anyone else, like, has thought about any of these things, or if you've had fears or any type of fears or anxieties during pregnancy. These are the reasons why I wanted to make this video, so that I could share with you guys. So those are pretty much all of my fears and anxieties that I've had during my pregnancy. So yeah. Oh, I had my notes right here on my iPad, and it's now dying. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching so much. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time here on my channel, I really appreciate it, and especially if you stuck through to the end. Thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead. What are you waiting for? Just subscribe and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can stay updated whenever I post a new video. I am planning on doing more pregnancy diary videos. This is the first pregnancy diary video. I may go back and post the video that I filmed when I was 8 weeks pregnant. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, because it's so late now to post it. I may just redo it and just do like a first trimester update, a second trimester update, and third trimester update. I may do that instead. But yeah, I want to do this pregnancy diary series as well, because this is my homework for my doula, which is my best friend. She told me that I should start journaling or something, but I already have this platform, and if things that I say can help out someone else, then I want to be able to do that. And yeah, so I have not shown you guys my belly bump. I think I might do that so you guys can see. Let me close the blinds because I'm in the office right now, so give me a second. Okay, so again, I am 19 weeks pregnant, and this is my 19-week belly from the side. From the front, I did not wear this shirt out today, y'all. I know it is coming over my stomach, and this is a brand new shirt. I just put it on for this video. From the other side, lift it up. From the front and from the other side. Oh, I have a rash right here, and there's another one like right here. That's another thing I did not talk about in my video, and I should have mentioned it, that for some reason, okay, in addition to the stretch marks, that I also developed a rash on my stomach when I was 8 weeks pregnant, and it is still here, and I'm 19 weeks pregnant, and I've been putting stuff on, and my doctor's giving me stuff. It just will not go away, and I think that it's something called PUPS, which is a pregnancy rash, and it doesn't go away until you give birth, until after you give birth. And it's been here since I was 8 weeks pregnant. So I'm thinking that's what it is. Anyways, yeah, so that's it. This video is way too long. I'm definitely going to have to speed it up. So if I'm talking fast in the video and you make it all the way to the end, then you'll understand why. This video right now is 33 minutes, and I'm going to try to cut it down. So I'm going to speed it up so that I can get it down to hopefully around 20 something minutes. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, you guys. And I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.